a Michigan disclosure of an investigative report on Dominion voting machines used in the state. The 23-page forensic report concluded that the Dominion voting system is intentionally and purposefully designed with inherent errors to create systemic fraud and influence election results. The report, released by Allied Security Operations Group, ASOG, detailed the findings from a forensic examination on Dominion voting systems in Antrim County, Michigan. On election night, Antrim County switched 6,000 votes from President Trump to Joe Biden, allegedly due to an unexplained glitch. Poll workers tried very hard to report the problems with Dominion voting machines, but local officials, including the Secretary of Michigan State, turned down their requests, claiming that it was the result of user human errors. In early December, shortly after Antrim County resident William Bailey filed a lawsuit to challenge the integrity of the election equipment, Judge Kevin Elsenheimer of the 13th Circuit Court ordered forensic imaging of the Dominion voting tabulators and related software. However, he also placed a protective order to restrict the use and distribution of the forensic findings. It wasn't until December the 14th that Judge Elsenheimer agreed to lift the protective order and allow the release of the report. A team from Dallas-based cybersecurity firm ASOG conducted the investigation on behalf of plaintiff William Bailey. The team took forensic images and reviewed the county's 22 Dominion tabulators along with thumb drives and related software. The audit revealed that of the 15,676 lines or events, there were a total of 10,667 critical errors/warnings, or an over 68% error rate. Later in the report, ASOG said, "This high error rate proves the Dominion voting system is flawed and doesn't meet state or federal election laws." The Federal Election Commission allows a maximum error rate of just 0.0008% for computerized voting systems. The error rate of Dominion voting systems at a shocking 68.05% is 85,000 times higher than the threshold. ASOG concluded that the Dominion voting system intentionally generates an enormously high number of ballot errors. The electronic ballots are then transferred for adjudication. The intentional errors lead to bulk adjudication of ballots, with no oversight, no transparency, and no audit trail.
The evidence presented in the Allied Security Operations Group is astonishing. The conclusion is obvious. The Dominion voting system is designed to cheat. It was intentionally designed to have an error rate as high as 68%, which in turn allows for bulk human adjudication of ballots. The error rate in Central Lake Township was 81.96%, while the error rate allowed by the Federal Election Committee is 1 out of 250,000 ballots. The Dominion voting machines had an error rate of 85,000 to 224,000 times higher than the federal standard. This is not what we would expect from an experienced voting system company. The only explanation is the design was intentionally flawed.
More seriously, ASOG found that Antrim County's computer system maintains records of the adjudication process for previous elections, but records for the 2020 election were missing. The lack of records prevents any form of audit accountability, the report said. We must conclude that the 2020 election cycle records have been manually removed. 1 month before the election, it was exposed that the parent company of Dominion received $400 million from an investment bank in Switzerland with ties to China.
There was certainly foreign meddling in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Truly unprecedented. If the problems in this election are not resolved, the problems that may arise in the future will be unimaginable.